Angela. It's me today. I am filling in for her. We're doing a little bit of swapping with our schedule just to accommodate each other. My baby is still sick. She has hand, foot, and mouth disease, I guess. A little rash going on. Um, yeah, home and just trying to juggle all the things, but I was able to escape my house.
To accommodate
Oops,
each
sorry.
other.
I was able to escape my house just for a bit to create some cards with this amazing stencil and stamp that we just released this week. So here is sorry, getting used to this camera placement. Here's the stamp set. It's called Woodland Layers. And so what it is, it's like just silhouette rows of pine trees. And then we have an awesome like mountain stencil. So it has like 4 different kind of designs for mountains. And these are designed to work like with each other or separate to create like amazing scenes. And so I just wanted to hop on and share with you guys just like a couple different ways to use this, from simple to more complex with the layering. And all of it is just super simple stamping and ink blending. And so I think that it will be a lot of fun. Hi, Georgine. Hi, Alex Young. Awesome to see you guys. I'm so excited. So just for you guys just joining in, I'm Whitney Magnuson and I'm live with Unity Stamp Company. Oh, as you can see, I'm trying to like point at that. There you go, this logo. It's hard, it's like opposite or something. So I'm live with Unity Stamp Company and we are celebrating our biggest sale of the year right now. So 55% off of stamps site-wide. The only exclusion are past and present membership kits. We have a ton of new arrivals which are all on sale because we always do it like that. And of course, amazing freebie incentive gifts when you purchase. So lots happening. I'm super excited. This is literally the most magical time of the year at Unity. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and put it down to Project Cam and then I can show you what we're going to create. There we go. I'm figuring this out. So usually Nick does all of the like camera work for me. So I just have to like worry about the video itself, but he's at home. So I am doing it myself today. So if I seem a little weird, like I don't know how to do something, it's because I'm literally learning as I go right now. All right. Hi, Dana. Welcome. Happy Thursday, everybody. I love it. So today, when I was on my way to work, it was snowing a little bit, and it reminded me of this giant snowflake stamp that we just released, and I made it into a shaker, but total like Elsa vibes right now. Sharon is asking, are you going to do any new Christian stamps for the holiday? So I don't know if we are doing any more Christmas stamps because it's getting down to the wire for creating in time for Christmas, but we might sneak a couple in there. I'm actually not sure if Angela has any in the works or not. I've just been really focused on these releases, so I'm sorry I can't give a definite answer, but we do have a ton of Christmas Christian style stamps in our collection already. So you can just like go up to the search bar and say Christmas or something like that, and they should all pop up. But yeah, a huge collection. When I went ahead and exported our stamps the other day to mark them all down to 55% off, there was like 3,400 stamp sets. So I think we'll probably have something that you haven't discovered yet. All right, so Dana ordered this and she is so excited to use this set. So this is what it comes with: Woodland Layers stamp set and the mountains. So you can buy them separate or together. When you buy them as a bundle during this release, we're going to give you a little bit extra of a discount just because it's kind of fun to do and we can do that. So let's get started. So I saw a card that one of our design team members did, Donna Kay. She is amazing, and I thought this would be a great one to start out with so you guys can just see like basically how this works together. So we're going to start out easy and then we're going to get more complicated with the layers and stuff. So let's see. Yes, Nick is right. Gracie Ellie Designs has some amazing Christian sentiments. I totally recommend checking out her line of stamps on our website. Just really meaningful, great stamps. All right, so for this card here, we are going to be creating a A2 card. So I have an A2 white card base. We're going to do some black cardstock for matting. And I already went ahead and die cut out my panel that we're going to stamp on and do our ink blending on. And then for stamp sets, of course, we're going to be using Woodland Layers for those trees on here. And we're going to be using the mountain stencil. And for that awesome sentiment, like that is a sizable sentiment, and I love the mix of fonts. That is from this one, and it's called With Appreciation, and it is by Gracie Designs. It has some great Thanksgiving sentiments in there, and thankful for you. And I think that these two that were in this set are gonna work for like all year around. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start with a simple version of using this bundle. So we're just going to take our die cut out piece here, and I am just going to tape that inside of my Misty. So this set makes scene building so easy and so fun. I was in work this morning, and I had to like force myself to stop creating cards. I could have just kept going because I was having so much fun with it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do my big Misty. I'm going to do my big one. So these stamps, you can create landscape and portrait style cards. So I could go across the bottom here, or it fits across the side here. So that's kind of nice where you get the option for both sizes. All right. Feeling good about that. We're lining that up on the bottom there. And now I'm going to grab like my blackest black ink, and it is VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and we are going to ink this up. All right, so Jessie asks if we sell this die, and we do not. This die I think is from Gina Marie Designs. It is like the wonky stitch die, I think it's called. So with solid stamps, it always takes a little bit to get the complete opaque coverage. And so we're gonna do that. I like to stamp down like several times just to make it like jet black. And with the Misty, that makes it super duper easy to do. What is right there? There's like a little speck on my stamp. Perfect. I'm just going to do one more because I'm obsessive. Just get it dark. That is awesome. I love it. All right. So we have our trees in here. So as the ink sits into, it gets a little bit darker. Just cleaning out my Misty here because I just cleaned this. I want to keep it clean. Oh, Jessie's asking how my baby's feeling. She is still a little bit rough. She has hand, foot, and mouth. So just like a fever, and then she has like a little rash right now on her hands and arms. So she's not doing that great, but she's doing okay. Ooh, Becky got her Misty today. That is absolutely awesome. All right, so since we went ahead and did like 4 passes stamping this, I'm just going to take my heat tool and just speed dry this a little bit before we go in with our stencil. All right, so there is that. And I want to just kind of hold this in place so it doesn't slide around and stuff when we get to stenciling. So I'm going to grab some purple ink, and this is Wilted Violet in Distress Oxide. And we are just going to get started here. So just line it up where you want it. So I like mine right there. I have a piece of purple tape that I'm kind of just using to hold my stencil and stuff into place. You can use pixie spray or anything you want, or if you really trust yourself, you can just hold it in place. But I always seem to let it like kind of slide, and then I'm like, oh, darn it. All right. Linda says that she has spent the morning foiling like a madwoman. That is awesome. Did you get the new Ornamental Pines stamp and stencil bundle? I'd love to hear if that's what you're working with. All right, so I'm just kind of blending heavier up towards the top here and then just pulling it down. So then when we release, you get a look like that. Seriously magical. So we'll just pull this up. Now we're going to figure out what we want for our next one, and I think I like that. Oopsies. There. Just got to decide what I want it to look like. You really can't go wrong because they're all just beautiful, but all right. So again, we're doing heavier up by the top, and then we're just kind of blending that down. There's our second little mountain, and you can stop anytime and leave the rest white, but I am going to go ahead and just like keep going with it because I love the look of it when it's fully ink blended with the mountains. All right. This is looking really good, you guys. Oh, the Christmas toner sheets. Yes, they are so much fun. We have toner sheets in our collection that are all Christmas themed, and they have like pre-printed designs on them. And that is what Linda's using to create with, and they are awesome. I love them. All right, so we're gonna do this one now. Oops. Perfect. So now this like last little corner, I'm not going to add a mountain detail. I'm just going to take my blending tool and just kind of go around the top edge to fill in that white spot. So I'm loving that. Yes, Jessie, this bundle is amazing. All right, so we're gonna grab our Misty and we're gonna stamp in that beautiful sentiment from one of my favorite Gracie Ellie Designs kits, and this one is 55% off along with all of our other stamps right now, so there's a glare, but it's with appreciation. So we're gonna use the sentiment that says, "A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles." And I thought that was just really pretty with this kind of serene purple scene. And it is a huge sentiment. I love the size of it. Ooh. All right. So I'm just putting this in straight so my sentiment stamp strikes. I don't want a crooked sentiment after doing all that work. All right. I think that's good. Okay, so now we're going to grab that same black ink we used for the trees, and that's VersaFine Clair, and we're going to stamp our sentiment right on top of those beautiful mountains that we created. Love it. So it says, "A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles." So this card comes together super duper easy, you guys. That's what I love about this bundle. So I'm just going to clean up our ink blending here before we make a total mess. All right. So I loved the pop of black behind here, so we're going to do that. Yes, this is the Mountain Stencil and Woodland Layers stamp set. So you can buy it just the stamp set or just the stencil, or if you want an extra discount, you can buy the bundle. And I believe last night on our email list, we sent out a video showing you how to use this and create like a lake scene. So if you're not on our email list, you should totally join because we're always sending different videos and stuff on there that our design team makes to show you how to use these stamps or just get you inspired to try different techniques or color combos. And that is going to be the place too that we share all of our sale details. So lots of fun to be had. Right. Yes, isn't the purple fun? It's just a nice, like, unexpected color for the mountains. I like it a lot. So here are those. Oh no, I set my my stamp scrubby on top of this one, but you get the idea. So there's the first one, a very easy way to use this set with just one of those trees. So let's do something a little bit more complex. All right, so I'm gonna pull in this stencil, we're gonna wash it off. Be responsible crafters here, so we don't get purple where we don't want purple. All right. So next we're gonna create kind of a one-tone type scene. So I really like teals and blues, and I saw a photograph that was kind of like blues like this that inspired Nick and I to come up with the idea for this bundle. And so I'm like, well, I gotta try that because that's the reason why we came up with this. So this one is just 3 different ink colors and then some very light mountain stenciling in the background. And I absolutely love the sentiment that is on here. Joy is the simplest form of gratitude. I think that is a great sentiment and I love it. Tape runner. So my tape runner always gets like clogged or like jammed up, and so I've just been using liquid glue and this tape and I've been way happier. Alright, so for this card we're going to do it in landscape now. So the first card you saw the trees and stuff worked out while it was in portrait landscape. Now we're going to do one that is landscape. So we're going to have a white A2 card base, a white sheet of cardstock for the matting, and the stamping panel. So Jessie asks, is there a bundle for the mountains and trees? I found individual, but not the bundle. Yes, if you go up to the top of the website and you see sale, click on new arrivals and scroll down, and I believe it's down there, like maybe the 3rd or 4th row on the right. All right, so we're going to get started with this one. So the 3 tones that I'm using today, my dark one is going to be Tranquil Teal. My mid-tone is going to be Blue Lagoon, and my light is going to be Sea Glass. So let's go ahead and grab our Misty, and we're going to put this inside like so. Just make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to grab our trees and get started with the stamping. So I'm just grabbing these solid trees, and we're going to set these. I feel like that's going to be good. Alright, so there's a trick to stamping and layering when you're doing multiple trees on top of each other. You don't want to ink up the entire stamp, otherwise you're going to get this bottom block. And so I'm going to show you a trick for that. So we're going to start with our lightest hue, which for me is Sea Glass. And I'm just going to start by kind of inking up the top half of my trees here. And I'm not super worried about getting the bottom half because we're going to go in with our blending tool and we're going to kind of blend the edges here so it's not so harsh. So when it stamps down, we're not going to get a harsh line, and it's going to be easy to cover that up with our darker colors. All right. So I'm just going to go in and kind of repeat that same process, inking up my trees partially, and then going in with my blending brush and blending out those edges, kind of blurring so we don't have such a harsh line there. So you can just kind of repeat this until you're happy with the buildup of color, and I am happy with that. So now we're going to go on to our next row of trees. And we're just going to put this like so. You could use a piece of acetate and stick that in there and you could see how it's all going to stamp out. But I am just going to not do that because I have a little cheat for if I have a little bit of white space. So my mid-tone is Blue Lagoon, and we are going to do that same technique here where we're just kind of inking up the top half of our trees. We're going to grab our blending brush, blend out that harsh line from our ink pad so it's a little bit blurred, and stamp down. Love, it is so, so pretty. All right. So the layering takes a little bit, but I honestly find it really therapeutic to ink blend and stuff, so I really like the whole process. All right. So I am liking that color buildup, so now we can move on to our next one. And I'm just alternating these two strips. The kit does come with some edges too, so if you wanted to add in some trees coming from the edges, you could do that as well. My panel, the way that it is, it just kind of works better when I do just these ones. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and do our darkest color. So our darkest hue is Tranquil Teal. All right, and we're just repeating that process of stamping. Oh, actually this one we can stamp up the entire thing because this is gonna go all the way down to the bottom. So the last one that kind of fills in the bottom, you can stamp it up all the way. The name of this stamp set is Woodland Layers. So you can buy just the stamp set, or you can buy the bundle that comes with the mountain stencil as well. So both options are on the website. And if Nick is still watching, he just went ahead, oh yeah, he just posted the link for this set. All right, inking this up. Like to get it very dark. I don't know what this little buddy is. There's like a little speck here. Oh, there's like a thing on there. Okay. All right. So now we're left with something like this. So I don't mind the white space there. It could be snow or whatever. But if you want to fill it in, you can. And I learned this from a video that Echo Noble did using this same stamp set and bundle. So you could take out your panel, and we're going to just do a little bit of ink blending. So right in there, we're going to grab that Blue Lagoon, which is that mid-tone we were using. And we're just going to ink blend a little bit to kind of cover up a little bit of that white. And you just kind of repeat until you're happy with the coverage. Yes, this sure could be a lake too, just like the video we sent out in our email yesterday. I loved how Galen did that. It was so magical looking. All right, and then I noticed across the bottom here too, there's a little gap from where the stamp didn't go, and I feel like I can fix that, so let's just attempt. Now brushing our ink pad across the bottom. All right. Happy with that. Color that all up. Perfect. So there's our little hues all going on. I love the blue tones. And let's just speed dry this before we go in, adding our mountains. Perfect. So now let's add some light mountain effect to this. So I'm just gonna grab my mountain stencil and we're just gonna figure out which one we want to start with. I kind of like to start with this like one like this, and I don't really know why. I don't have a rhyme or a reason. I just like the way that it is. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my lightest tone now, which is sea glass, and we're gonna use that for our sky. I just used my brush for the mid tone, so I'm just kind of getting some of that off of there. All right, so here is our light mountain sky. And as I'm blending, you might not really see it until I pull the stencil up. It's very faint, and I love how faint it looks. That's kind of what I was going for. Let's see, I'm gonna do this one. So this could even be like a sky detail too. Not necessarily even like mountains, but a sky look with this light color. So I'm loving that. And now we're just gonna go around the edges a little bit, around the top half here to kind of fill in that white space. So I'll put it up. You can kind of see, there you go. The mountains are very, very faint. Kind of hard to catch it on camera, but it's really pretty in person. And then we're gonna grab a really awesome sentiment from this one, another Gracie Design set. I love the sentiments in here. This is kind of a Thanksgiving fall themed set, but she has one in here that says, "Joy is the simplest form of gratitude." And I loved the font and everything, so I'm like, all right, that's gonna be perfect. All right. Clean that up. We'll put our panel inside of here. And then we're going to put our sentiment in here. See how that's looking? Oh, a little kitty wampus. There we go. And we're going to go in with that essential black ink. Yes, the mountains are in a fog. It could be a fog too. I love that. There we go. Joy is the simplest form of gratitude, and it's in those beautiful blue hues. So if you have like a family of 3 inks that you really like, a tone, this would be an awesome way to use those inks. Just cleaning this off before we go in and assemble this one. All right, so this one, I assembled this one on some white cardstock and then on a white card base with a little foam tape. So you can see how every single time you do this, it's gonna turn out a little bit different. So these are the same colors and stuff that I used, but it just turns out a little bit different every single time, and that is the beauty of it. Love it so much. So we've already created 2 cards here. So here was the first one, just kind of a simple way to use this mountain set. Here it is layered up in landscape. So 2 possibilities there. And then I wanted to share with you this card. So today up on the blog we had Crystal Minkler, and she is Dawn a kitty wampus, or is Dawn says, is kitty wampus a Minnesotan thing? I have never heard it before. I don't know, maybe it is. So anyways, Crystal Minkler was up on the blog today, and she created this beautiful scene card, and so I wanted to try to recreate it with my own little twist on it. And so I'm going to share with you how you can create this kind of fun little scene card with a cute little Christmas background detail and little die cut. So for this one, we're going to do a craft A2 card base. I have a white matting. This is going to be this panel that we're going to stamp on. And then I already went ahead and die cut out my sentiment from a very special die set that we just came out with. And this is Say It Big Holiday. And it actually coordinates with this one. But they work great on their own as well. So let's get started with our stamping of the trees. Oh, it's a Midwest thing. Kitty Wampus. That's funny. All right, so for this one, we're gonna stamp with some oxides and these beautiful trees. So let's just start out by layering up our trees, or figuring out where we want our trees to go, and I think that one will be good there. And we're gonna start with our lighter color, which is, actually I wanted to test out what color, or what this stamped out as, because it says ice spruce, but I didn't really know what that meant, so I wanted to see it. Oh, oopsies. No, that is actually pretty. Okay, let's do ice spruce. We're just gonna do it. Let's just commit. Then you guys can see two different kind of color combos on the craft. Ooh, that is very icy, sprucey. All right, there's that. Now, you know what I forgot to do was do a little bit of, so it wasn't so harsh, but I think we'll be able to make it work with the dark color we're doing next. It should be fine. All right, so our next tree line, we're gonna go like so. Actually, you know what? Let's do 3 on this one, because then we can do all 3 colors of my oxides. Okay, let's go in with peeled paint. I'm already going rogue from my original card. It's hard to do the same card multiple times because you just get new ideas every single time you do the card and you want to try them. See what I was saying? Like earlier, I had to like literally stop myself from using this this set because it's just so much fun. All right, let's just grab a little bit of this off of there. I think that'll be too harsh. We'll see if I can make this one happen. Since I'm going rogue, it'll probably like not turn out. Of course, because I'm live. No, that's actually turning out really pretty. I love how that gray is kind of peeking out from behind there, or like the ice spruce, is what they call it. All right, let's go in with our final color. And the final one I'm gonna use is Forest Moss. And this one, we don't really have to worry about harsh lines or anything because this is our final one that's gonna go on the bottom. So when I do this normally I'm just in my craft room, I probably would have stamped it all first and then die cut it because it's just a little bit harder to get the ink in those stitching marks, but it's working out. It's just fine. So this little white spot back there, let's go ahead and fix that with a little peeled paint. Just gonna go ahead and dry this just a touch. And now let's fix this harsh line. Some peeled paint. And then let's stamp this one more time just to get a little bit of definition back in it. Where'd my color go? Hello, color. How could I just have lost an ink in this short period of time? Okay, here we go. So confused. All right. A little bit more definition there, but I'm loving that. So pretty. The gray trees in the background. And I'll show you guys my first version too, only using 2 colors, so you can see what that is like. But as these inks dry and sink in, it's gonna look really, really pretty. Let's speed dry this a little bit. All right, we're feeling good about that. Love that. So now we're going to go in, we're going to add a little bit of text detail to this background, just like Crystal did. I loved how that looked. I thought it was really, really fun. So we're just going to tape that into place. Then I'm going to grab one of my favorite Christmas background stamps, which is a little Christmas carol. So this is an A2 background stamp, and it just has a bunch of like little Christmas sayings in there. You know, like, oh, Christmas tree and jingle bells and like all that. So what we're going to do is, I don't want the text to be on these trees. I want it to be just kind of mostly above. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of put this mask over there. Then we are going to put our background stamp on there. And then I'm gonna grab a light brown ink, which is kind of a tone on tone. And this is the color Craft. And we are just going to ink this up. And I'm not even going to ink up like the bottom half, because I'm just going to kind of eyeball where it's going to. Oh, that's actually like perfect. I did it. All right. So now we can pull this off, and we have that pretty text everywhere but on our trees, which I love. Pull this out too. And now let's add that mountain detail on top. So, so pretty. All right, so we're just gonna grab this and let's just add some of our mountain detail on here. And I'm gonna use that same color, the Craft color. So it's again kind of a tone on tone. Why am I not using magnets on the stamp platform? I think it's just preference. I don't prefer the magnets because I feel like it's not held completely securely. Sometimes I feel like my paper kind of shifts, or if a little bit of ink gets on my magnet, then it gets on my thing, and I don't like that. So I always use purple tape, but I think it's totally like preference. Whatever you prefer is gonna work. I'm just like really OCD about my stuff moving, and I know if I tape it down, it's not going anywhere. All right, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna ink blend with our Craft ink, which is the same color we did that text stamping in. And we're just gonna pull this up. There's the first mountain. I love it so much. Hi Sue, thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited you're here. Baby Aria's doing okay. She has hand, foot, and mouth, so that's kind of a bummer, but the good news is it's not anything too serious. She just is really not happy right now. All right, so we're just moving this around. I like to use like a giant piece of tape, again, because I'm OCD about my stuff moving. All right. Gotta get this little part. Perfect. All right, and then let's add our last little bit of mountain on here. Let's do this one. I like that one, I think. Dawn has one of these bundles in her cart. You are absolutely gonna love it. It is so much fun, and I love that this one bundle can do Christmas cards, sympathy cards, thankful cards, you know, birthday cards for outdoor lovers. It's really kind of an all-season, all-purpose type set. So here is what we're looking for, or what we're looking at right now, with that fun text popping out, the mountain detail, and our trees all stacked up. So now we can put our sentiment on. So we're just going to kind of figure out where we want our Christmas little sentiment to be. And then I'm just going to tape it into place where we want it. And the reason being is because we're going to stick this back in our Misty and stamp our little Mary stamp. And I just want it to be pretty close to this die. So it's kind of nice when it's like in there and you can kind of see how it's all going to line up. All right. There's that. Oh, that was a little wonky. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to grab Mary from the Say It Big set, and this actually coordinates with the little die that I'm using. And I want it to be like close up by here. So I'm going to grab my acetate, put this down on top of my card, and then stamp this down just to make sure it's straight and it's where I want it to be. You know, that actually is very nice. I'm shocked that I was able to get that on the first try. Usually it's some maneuvering. So we're just gonna wipe this off. We'll wipe that off. We don't need that anymore. And then we're gonna grab that same brown ink we've been using for this whole card, which is Craft and G&K Designs. Stamp down. We're just gonna stamp it several times so it's like nice and dark over the top. It's still gonna be kind of subtle, but that's okay. All right, we'll pull this out, pull that off. And this is just a piece of vellum that I die cut the back with, or like the shadow with. This is just vellum, and this is out of the craft paper. So we're just gonna go ahead and take our Connect glue, and I'm gonna dot adhesive on the back of this. And I'm gonna share with you kind of a mistake that I made the first time so you guys can avoid that, because it's not the end of the world, but just like my OCD. So we're gonna do this, and then I'll show you how we're gonna adhere that vellum so you don't have glue lines and stuff behind there. Because the first time I thought, oh, you know what, this glue dries clear. I don't think that we'll get any lines on the vellum or anything. I was wrong. All right. Yes, the acetate is like life-changing. We actually sell those A2 acetate sheets in our shop. So they're great for shakers or stamping and stuff. I always have them. Like I have like a little tray right in front of me of like essential things I always grab for. And acetate is always in there. All right, so this is all glued together. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna add adhesive only to the parts where you see the die cut. So we're gonna hide all that adhesive behind the paper portion so it's not gonna show on the acetate. And I'll show you my first example too, where you can kind of see it, like my wonky adhesive on the back of my acetate. And you can decide which method you like better. But I always like to kind of live through other people's blunders. So live through mine. All right. Here is that, so you don't see any of that adhesive there. Once it dries, you will not see it. On this one, you can see the adhesive, which a non-crafty person to get this card would probably be like, not even notice it, but again, I'm OCD, and so this is a way that you're gonna avoid seeing that, that adhesive behind there, and it's gonna stick down just great. So this one, obviously, I adhered to a white card, or a white sheet of cardstock for a matting, and then it's on a craft card base. So really, really fun. This one I used just 2 colors on, so this one is Peel Paint, and then the next one is the Forest Moss. Whereas this one I did 3 colors with, and we added in the ice spruce in there. So lots of different looks. I love it. You can tell I've been having so much crafty fun, you guys. My hands were clean at the beginning of this video, I swear. So now we have created 3 different cards with the one bundle. We did a very simple version, which you can watch on replay if you're just tuning in. We did a little bit more advanced with 3 tones of the same color and layering up 3 little tree lines. And then, of course, this one where we added some text detail in the background with one of our background stamps. So I have one more card I want to share with you. A little bit more layering and a little bit more, messing around, but I love the way that it looks, and I think that you guys will too, so let's do it. All right, so here is that third one. So I love this one. This one actually has 5 layers layered up together, some subtle ink blending detail, and we even use cute little birds that come in the Woodland Layers stamp set. And then, of course, a beautiful sentiment that I went ahead and embossed in our black glitter embossing powder. So this sentiment kit is very close to my heart. It is called Don't Give Up, and it actually was created by Lisa Rana, and it's for people that are struggling with depression, anxiety, different illnesses that we don't talk about. And so there's just really meaningful and heartfelt sentiments in here, which is great for me because sometimes I don't know what to say to people. Even, as me struggling with depression and anxiety, I don't always know what to say to others. And so I love this set. It's a go-to for me for people that are going through a rough time. And it's on sale. Yes, Sue, there are little birds in the Woodland set. Isn't that awesome? All right, so let's get started with this next card. So this next one, we are going to do a craft card base. I have a white sheet of cardstock that we're going to do for our matting, and then this is going to be our little panel that we're going to stamp on. I already went ahead and die cut this out with one of my favorite just essential stitch dies. Yes, the birds come in the set. Isn't that awesome, you guys? I love it. Okay, so let's get started here. Put my example in front of me here so I can remember how I did it. You guys have to do that too if you create some of the same cards. I always have to look at the example because I forget how I did it. All right, so for this one we're going to need a number of green inks. So I will say the colors as I go along with it. I'm just going to clean this off again. We got a little bit of residue that I don't want. And this one. Okay, so we are just going to start out, I'm going to go like here. All right, so we're going to start with our lightest color, and in my case, I am doing Key Lime. Is my stitched rectangle die from Gina Marie? Yes, it is. It is one of my very first dies that I ever purchased. It is very well loved. It has been through my machine so many times, it's like warped. I need to get a new one, but I love it. I use it all the time. All right, so we're going to start with Key Lime, and we're going to ink up the top half of our trees. So when you're layering up these trees, just keep in mind that when you do the first layers, you got to make sure that you're not going to ink up down at the bottom, otherwise you're going to get that harsh line. So we're just going to ink up the top half, and then we'll take our blending tool and just kind of soften that edge a little bit. Perfect. So you can kind of repeat this process of just kind of stamping, and I think it looks really nice. Perfect. So now we're going to go in with our next tree line. Where did you go, trees? Oh, right here. Wait, did I just do this one? No, I didn't. Okay. Sorry, I'm like easily confused right now. All right, so we're going to line this up like so, and we're going to go in with our next color. So the next color that I'm going to be using is Fresh Asparagus. And we're going to repeat that process. We're going to ink up the top half of our trees. Go in with our blending brush. We'll soften. You could use a cloth and take off some of this completely too. You don't have to do the blending brush, but I kind of like the subtle look of it, so that's what I do. All right, let's do it again. ink up that top half. We'll smooth that out. Perfect. I am liking that one. All right. Now let's go in with our next tree line. Right here. Go up a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna go in with an even darker color now. So this is Christmas Pine. That's our next color. And we're inking up the top half. This is kind of like just the process of this one. We're gonna smooth out those inky lines and stamp down. Ooh, I love that. It's so pretty. This is shaping up to be a really pretty scene, you guys. All right. Love it. All right, clean that off. We'll go in with our next color, which is yet a little bit darker. So my darkest green happens to be this Christmas Pine. So we're gonna move into like our grays. All right. So the gray that I'm using is slate. So it's almost a black, but not. I got too much in the bottom half there. I don't like that. And I have a little blending brush for my black as well, or my slate, I should say. I think I'm gonna have to go even down a little bit more on this one. So you can kind of see as you stamp it out, like where you need to ink down further or whatever. Okay, I'm liking that. So that is our slate. Now we can go in with our black. We're doing our final layer here, lining that up. And this one is going to be with black ink. So the black ink that I'm going to be using is VersaFine Clair. This one we do not have to worry about if we're going to get a harsh line because it's going at the very bottom of our panel, and if we miss a little strip we can just run our ink pad over the top of it and fill it in or ink blend. So I'm not too worried about that part. So I like to really build up a dark color. Some little fuzz on there. All right, let's see what we're looking like. I like that. All right, so now you can kind of see a little bit of white in between these layers. So you could leave it as is. Otherwise, we can go in and we can add a little bit of ink blending to fill in that, that little bit of white. So I'm just taking and cleaning this off because we're going to go in with the key lime first, the light color, and we'll go right up there. And right in between this tree line there. A little bit of key lime. So down here it looks like where we do the evergreen Christmas pine color, we could use a little bit of this. And then let's fill those in with some slate. Perfect. So now we have a little strip, like kind of down at the bottom where the stamp didn't get. I think we can fix that, no problem. Just using our ink pad. Perfect. Filled that in. So we'll just clean this off. Got some black and stuff here. We don't want to ruin all of our hard work with our stamping. So this stamp set and stencil is so much fun. I love it. All right, let's speed dry this and add some mountains. I just used like a ton of ink on the black, and so I don't want it to smear while I'm dragging my stencil all above it. Perfect. Now we'll go in here and I'm going to just clean this off because we did brown on it last time, just so we get the blue hue that we're wanting. We're not wondering, why is it brown? All right. So I'm going to be using a blue color. So this is Blue Lagoon. It's kind of a mid-tone blue, but I thought it was pretty for the sky. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to grab that and our little blue ink blending brush. And we are going to ink blend those mountains. I think this mountain stencil would be awesome with some of the, like Angie Blom has done some campers, and I think that would be so cute to do like a little scene like this and then plop that camper on there. So there's the first little hillside. Loving it. Right, go in with our next. Yes, so the stamps are trees and the mountains are the stencil. You are right. There's that one. Now let's go in with kind of a final little one here. I like to just use like a big piece of purple tape that kind of holds my paper and my stencil as one to help kind of prevent some of that sliding that kind of happens with stencils. Perfect. I love how this is looking. So now on that white edge, I'm just going to take my brush and just kind of go around that white edge to fill it in just a tiny bit. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna do a heat emboss sentiment on this, and we don't want to have a big oops where like the black embossing powder is covering everything. So let's go ahead and just kind of run our heat tool over the top of this a little bit. Speed dry that ink. We're gonna put this in our MISTI, and we're gonna grab a Fantastic Sentiment. All right, so the sentiment is from one of my favorite sentiment kits, Don't Give Up. And this one says, even if life seems ugly, you are beautiful. Ooh, this is going to be in our way. Put you down here. So we're going to want to stamp that here. Let's line it up. It looks good. We'll grab our embossing buddy. And just kind of cut down on the static with that. Then we're going to grab my favorite black ink, stamp down our sentiment. So it looks really pretty, just simply stamped, but I could not resist using this glitter black embossing powder on at least one card. So this is Nouveau embossing powder. It's new in our shop, and this is called Glitter Noir. I don't know, I feel like I didn't say that right. All right, but it's like black glitter. Perfect. So there it is on there, and now we're just going to use our heat tool to set this. All right, so when that is all like heat embossed, hopefully the camera will catch it. It's kind of, oh, there you get it. It's shimmery, it's glittery. So this card, I went ahead and I adhered on a white card or white piece of cardstock. Where's mine? Oh, right here. White sheet of cardstock. Oh, we forgot the birds, you guys. We got to do the birds. See what I'm saying? If I don't have it in front of me, I don't remember. All right, so here's the birds from that set, and we're going to use our slate color. The birds are very important. And we're just going to add some birdie details. There, that looks so good. I love the birds on there. I'm so glad I saw my example to remember that. So here are the two versions, and as I was saying, it's really fun how every single time you do this, even if you're trying to duplicate the same look, it's going to come out a little bit different every single time. Melissa asks, does Unity sell the Misty, which is this little guy that I've been using for my stamping? So we might have one or two in stock. I'm not quite sure. I might have to reorder these. But if you're just tuning in, we made a whole ton of cards with one stamp and stencil bundle, and then some favorite sentiments because I can't resist. So here's the stencil. You get 4 little mountainscapes. It is a 8.5 by 11 stencil, so it's a huge stencil. Woodland Layers, which comes with silhouette tree lines and some cute little birds. Yes, so Shauna, the birds are from Woodland Layers. That is where they come in a little add-on there. So I'm just going to show you all of the cards that were made during the live so you guys can see. So here is one where it is just 2 layers of those trees. We did a little bit of stamping in the background with a background stamp and added a fun die cut. Of course, I had to try a kind of tone on, like monotone type look, and so this is just 3 different colors of my turquoise ink, and then we did some slight kind of blending in the background, which almost looks like a sky rather than mountains on this one, and then we added that awesome sentiment on there. And then finally is this one, which is kind of the simplest of all. It's just one tree line stamped in black, and then we added purple mountain detail. So this bundle is absolutely amazing. I'm having so much fun with it, you guys, and I know that you will too. The stencil is limited edition and stuff, so we might get it back in stock, but it'll just be a while. So if you have missed some of our lives this week, we were live on Tuesday, and I created these fun pocket shakers with one of our new arrivals as well, so you can catch that on replay. So I just embossed this huge snowflake in white and die cut it out with the coordinating die. Then I added in some cute confetti sequins from our sequin collection. Here's that same card but embossed in silver. Love that. And then here's another one that everybody's been loving, this stamp. I absolutely love it as well. Just a really simple way to create with these 4 girls. So I am going to put it up to the regular camera now. Let's see if I can make this happen. Yay, I made it happen. Okay, so that's what I had to share with you guys today. I'm loving this bundle. I think you guys will too. And don't forget, it is Unity's biggest sale of the year. So 55% off site-wide on stamps. We have 10% off supplies, sale on all new arrivals, and we have a extra deal on this bundle. The mountain stencil and the stamp set are bundled right now, and if you buy them as the bundle during this release, you get an additional $2 off the sale prices. So it's kind of a fun incentive to get both at once and during this this little, oh, look at my purple tape. Oh, I'm so backwards on this. Okay. Going back. I got so distracted by my purple tape. All right, so that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I am going to head out. My boy is still waiting here for me. He is sitting in my office. He did not want to go live, which was kind of sad. I wanted him to do some mountain cards, but he was too busy for me, so. All right, I hope to see you guys again really soon. Actually, tomorrow, 5:30 Central Standard Time, right here. I will be live sharing with you some fun